It's the moment you didn't know you're waiting for.
He is Carter.
He's Chad.
And this is the Irish 365 podcast.
Chad, this is Lou Holtz. That's head coach of Notre Dame for 11 years. Greatest experience of my life. They're starting a Notre Dame podcast this summer. I have a podcast as well, but it's not about Notre Dame football, although I wish there were. But congratulations on your success. And it would be nice if I could be on your podcast, but my schedule is so hectic. But anything that has to do with Notre Dame, I'm all for it. God bless you. Go Irish.
Welcome into the Irish 365 podcast, episode 30. We've got the USC post-game show.
Yes.
We got back from California earlier today. Relaxed a little bit. Enjoyed a great trip.
Yeah, very good trip. Didn't go as planned. Our original plan was to leave. Our original plan for Christy, Caden, and myself to leave Fort Wayne on Wednesday. And we flew direct into Vegas. Originally, we started talking about this trip. We were thinking about flying into LA, a multitude of different airports. We even talked about flying in far south of San Diego, maybe, dipping across the border to Tijuana. Christy's heard that the original Caesar salad came from Tijuana at the Caesar Hotel, and maybe that was something we had to do, is go to Mexico and try it, and maybe buy some gold jewelry. I don't know.
Why not?
Why not? Some authentic Louis Vuitton bags or something. But
yeah.
Anyway, as it turned out, Notre Dame was actually supposed to be playing in a basketball tournament in San Diego, and that's what made us think, maybe we'll fly into San Diego. Notre Dame's basketball team switched to the Air Player tournament in Vegas, and they were going to be playing Wednesday night against number 4 Houston, which we didn't expect them to win, but we thought, hey, maybe we'll make that work. Unfortunately, the airline, which only flies twice a week from Fort Wayne to Vegas, decided to push our flight back an entire day.
Yeah.
So we did not fly out Wednesday afternoon as planned. We flew out Thursday morning.
18-hour delay, I believe it was.
It was a long delay. Wasn't terrible. I mean, we got a direct flight from Fort Wayne to Vegas, so that was nice. We 5 minutes from that, or 15 minutes physically from the airport driving. So that was cool. Did not get to see the Players Tournament, which the Irish went 0-3 in that tournament. So maybe we should have went to the Cayman Islands tournament and watched the women play, but we'd have missed the USC game if we'd have done that. So yeah, we caught our flight, and then Carter, you and Maddie were flying out the next day because she was going to do some holiday festivities with her family on Wednesday. And had we known, you could have been on the same direct flight from Fort Wayne to Vegas with us.
I drove down to Indianapolis and then beat them there, ironically, by about an hour.
Yeah, we were supposed to be there on the ground the day ahead of you. Just didn't work out.
Yeah, so I did a lot of driving to beat you by 1 hour, which was not at the intent, but it all worked out, right?
Yeah.
So, the closest thing we saw to seeing the Notre Dame basketball team play was seeing some players walk through the lobby of our hotel.
Yep,
that was about as close as we got.
Yep.
But anyway, we had a good flight. I don't know how your flight was, but
fantastic.
Yeah, no problems there. Very little turbulence.
Not very busy. Yeah, not as bad as last weekend.
Yeah, much better than the New York trip. We got into Vegas. You guys got on the ground, half hour, 45 minutes before us?
Yep.
You Ubered over to the hotel, and you were able to get early check-in.
Yep.
We were able to get to the hotel, and I'd already pre-checked in, so I was checked in the night before. So, but the airline did do me a favor, and they gave me some money back on my flight. So, I didn't complain about paying for a hotel night I wasn't there because I had guaranteed check-in because I already checked on the app the day before. So, but we got a pretty nice room. I think Caden was pleased with it.
Yeah.
So we got some sort of executive suite double room with all kinds of space, a view of the Sphere from the outside.
Yeah, so it was fancy.
Nice view.
It was fancy. So
yeah,
it was a shame we weren't there longer.
Right.
But yeah, so you guys, so we had a nice room, and then we could see the Sphere, and then we got a chance to go out and walk some of the casinos. I think Caden's first time to Vegas.
Yep.
So he was all about we talked about this at New York. He likes the overstimulation, the bright lights.
He likes all of it. He likes seeing everything.
He feeds off that energy.
He like going to the Coca-Cola factory, the M&M store, all the good stuff, right?
Yeah. Liked all the lights.
And the big city bright lights was all sweet. We did get a chance to see the Bellagio fountain from inside the Bellagio.
Yep.
Yeah.
We weren't going to see it from the street, which is probably good. It was a little cool. It was 50 when we were in Vegas.
Yeah.
And they had the F1 track grandstand still set up blocking the view from the street side. So
Couldn't really see it, yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't see it from outside, but we got a chance to go inside and see it from inside, so which was good. I mean, it's...
And the little winter wonderland in the Bellagio.
Oh, yeah. They had their Christmas decor set up, so...
Yep.
Yeah.
Giant
that was very
sled
cool.
and a couple of reindeer that were, I don't know, 12 foot tall, and...
Yeah.
Yeah, gingerbread house or...
Merry-go-round.
Yeah, it was very festive. We sold nutcrackers and different decor up in the Vegas area. So, yeah, Vegas, always good energy in Vegas.
Yeah. And me and Caden and Maddie went and do the Sphere Experience.
Yeah, you guys made it the Sphere Experience.
Pretty sweet.
Yeah, tell us about it.
I mean, overstimulation, like you said, just galore. I mean, that thing was crazy. Like, it's something I'm not like, oh my gosh, I have to go back and do, but it's like, glad I did that once. You know what I mean? Like, it's undescribable. It's just like a giant, like, you feel like you're there. Your seat's moving during part of it. It's everything around you. Look up the screen. I can't look up because you won't hear me, but you look up and then there's details above you. Like, it's the most detail oriented thing like you've ever seen, because it's just like, I don't know how they recorded this. I don't know how they did this, but it was just like a story from like the beginning of the mankind, to like the end of time and like moving to Mars. Postcard to Earth is not the one that we went.
Okay,
it was
like the Sphere Experience Postcard to Earth. It wasn't a special show. It was just standard.
But yeah, Caden was all for it. There was parts of it where I was like, whoa, this is like there was lightning at one point. I'm like, oh my God, I had to close my eyes for a couple minutes, and I was like, all right, I'm good. Just like,
Caden could not stop talking about it.
Yeah, Caden was loving it. Yeah, and he almost didn't go, which I was like, dude, this is all for you. Like, I knew I would like it, but I was like, dude, this is literally made for people like you. So
yeah, it's just in his wheelhouse of things he likes.
So it was definitely a good time.
Yeah, and Maddie enjoyed it as well.
Yeah, Maddie enjoyed it. There's like safari part where it's like you literally got like elephants, giraffes, lions, like walking, and it was like, that was crazy. So
you felt like you were among them.
Yeah,
very cool.
She liked that part a lot too.
So yeah, then we had a traditional Thanksgiving dinner at a Vegas hotel. Which we did the Vegas buffet in our hotel, and it was I mean, there was turkey, there was stuffing. I had Thanksgiving food.
Yep.
Wasn't like, oh my God, I have to go back. It wasn't, oh my God, this is the worst thing ever. So
yeah, didn't have to cook it.
The vanilla ice cream wasn't working on point. So not that I normally get ice cream on Thanksgiving, but I would have.
Yep.
I would have, but I did get a variety of cakes, including a red velvet, so it wasn't all bad.
Okay.
Wasn't the best red velvet cake I've had, but it wasn't during the game, so it doesn't count.
Yep.
So yeah, I think Vegas was cool. We had a lot of good experience in Vegas. We made the most of our time there.
Did you get some gambling in, Carter?
I did.
Yeah.
I did have a good time gambling Thursday night, and then won a sports bet.
Yeah.
Nice.
Played a little blackjack. Didn't win it that much.
Yeah. You were up until you weren't.
I was up till I wasn't. Had a good time though. That's for sure.
Caden was itching to get out on that floor.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, dude, you can't. And then he started counting down till he's 21 when he could be on the gambling floor. It's like, no.
I think this is gonna be dangerous.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm scared.
Me too.
We got a few years to talk him off that ledge. I don't know that we will, but we got a few years to talk him off that ledge.
Okay.
I think our family knows him well, though. My cousin Derek texted me at one point, and he was like, Caden tried to get in there and make a bet yet? And
Yeah.
I'm like, you know him so well.
Yes.
Yes. You're aware of Caden.
Yes.
Yeah.
Too many.
And I think Maddie gave the best advice. You're not losing in Vegas till you go to the ATM unplanned.
True.
I mean, like, if you
did not go to the ATM.
If you take X amount of dollars to bet and that's all you're going to spend,
yep.
If you don't go to the ATM unplanned, then you didn't lose it.
And I came back with cash in my wallet. Let's not make this.
You paid for entertainment, is what you did.
I did. I had a good hour and a half. I don't think 2 hours. About an hour and a half.
I'm gonna say I usually get better value for my money if I go to a movie, because at least the I get 2 hours of entertainment for my buck.
Yeah.
As opposed to when I go to the table at Vegas. But that's why I don't go to the table at Vegas or touch the slots.
Yep.
Of course, one of my favorite is Christy and I were in Vegas on our honeymoon, and we were meeting some friends at the Tropicana Hotel, and they're like, "Oh, we're coming down," so we decide to sit down at this slot machine. And this is when you played like slot machines in Vegas, you got free drinks. I don't know if that's still the case.
Yep.
But anyway, so we got on this slot machine and we put $1 or something in it. It was like a penny slot machine. And she orders like a strawberry daiquiri from this wall.
There's a whole wall of
like
all these
slushy
frozen
daiquiri machines.
Yeah.
The waitress comes back with a daiquiri on the rocks. And of course, this is our first time in Vegas, way back when. We had no idea, like, what? And Christy says, well, why can't I get a frozen one? And she said, oh, not at this machine. Like,
yeah, you're playing the penny slots.
Ooh, well, I guess we were playing the low rent district. So you learned our lesson. So we just don't go to Vegas after that.
Right.
Yeah, they can't give us a good drink. Why even go?
Right. I'll just buy my frozen daiquiri.
Yeah.
Yep. There you go.
So anyway, yeah, we didn't have any drinks at the Vegas Strip, so I wasn't playing any slot machines. Had no desire because I didn't need to give my money to the arcade.
Yep.
But you did like the blackjack.
Yeah, I'm
Any
not a
roulette?
slots person. I did play a little roulette, I guess, in the early, but nothing major. I just
Right.
had some dollar bills that I hated, and I wanted to get, and I literally got a $10 bill off my $10, and I played for like 5 minutes. I was like, all right, I did not want these dollars in my take up too much space.
Red 21 hit for you?
It did not.
All
I
right.
hit a couple reds, trying to get those nights going for the next day or 2 days. Did not help. Red and black, but
Didn't work.
didn't work.
All right. But a good time was had in Vegas.
Yeah,
nonetheless.
real good time.
So after a day and a half in Vegas, we decided to head across the desert to LA, which was cool. A 4-hour drive from Vegas to Los Angeles. I wouldn't normally want to take a 4-hour drive in the middle of a vacation on a short trip like this, but
A good drive.
it's a good drive. It's cool to see the desert and then go across and go into the greenery and come into the east side of the LA area. So yeah, I think it was a good experience for us to make that drive. It wasn't so cool on the way back
Right.
because we had to do it after the game, but it was
Yeah.
it was cool on the way out there. It was good to see it. So yeah, I thought that was cool. Then we went and seen Hollywood, which was an experience.
Not what you expect.
Yeah, the Walkway of Stars. It's not glam and glitter like you'd expect, is it?
No,
No, like Hollywood's a little.
kind of disgusting.
Yeah, and then we made up for it.
Yeah.
So we left the Hollywood area and we went over to Rodeo Drive, which had all the glam and glitter. Actually, no, we went to the pier first, didn't we?
Yep.
Yep.
So yeah, we
Santa
left
Monica.
Hollywood and went over to the Santa Monica Pier, walked that area around a little bit because that's the end of Route 66.
Yep.
So, historic Route 66. Maddie wanted to drive Route 66, but we wouldn't do it. We wanted to go the fast route. So
Yeah.
she wanted to go to Radiator Springs. That's
Yeah.
what she really wanted to do.
That's all she wanted.
So anyway, we didn't make the route down 66, but we got to the end of Route 66, did Santa Monica Pier, which is kind of interesting because I know like it's famous and there's some restaurants, some street performers, fishing, a little bit of an arcade area, a roller coaster. Like there's some stuff, but it's not it's not Disney World. It's not Disneyland by any means. But we did see a famous LA street musician.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, we did. He's up there with DJ Cool, I think.
Might be above him.
Lenny Hoops.
Yep.
So yeah, go check out Lenny Hoops. Does a lot of classic 50s music. It was kind of funny because we saw him on the Santa Monica Pier, and I don't know what's gotten into my family because my family's not much dancers. But I saw Christy dancing a little bit in New York City, and I saw Caden cutting a rug with Lenny Hoops on the Santa Monica
He did
Pier.
such a nice dancing that Lenny Hoops gave him a free
Yeah, Lenny hooked him up with a CD.
Yeah.
CD. Caden was like, I don't know what this is, but
Yeah. What do you do with
What do
this?
you
Yeah.
do with this round
I think he
thing?
thought it was a Frisbee at first.
yeah.
I'm like, no. We'll have to find one of those things that plays that if we've got a car that still does that or
Yeah.
device that still does that. So anyway, we got to see Lenny Hoops play. Unpaid for concert. I think
Yeah.
we're on this theme. Like we're getting these free concerts on these trips. So
Right.
but yeah, I think Santa Monica Pier, very cool area, very, very cool vibe. And it's 70s. Like low 70s. We're walking around in shorts and t-shirts.
Beautiful weather.
Much better than Northeast Indiana at this time of year, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Picked up some Ghirardelli chocolate.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which you can get in Indiana, but I don't know. It hits different in California, doesn't it?
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely.
It's fresh.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's fresh. I wouldn't go back to San Francisco for it, but I'd go to Southern California for it.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, and we got to do that activity and then hit the hotel after that. Actually, we went back and hit Rodeo Drive on the way to the hotel.
Yep.
And so that was overstimulation again of every large name brand store you can think of, and we saw
On Black Friday.
on Black
Yeah,
Friday.
Didn't see
very
any
festive.
sales. Didn't see any sales.
But it was decorated nice.
It was what you expect for Rodeo Drive. I mean, it was kind of a mix. You saw like a lot of touristy people, I think, walking and trying to do the touristy thing, just
with
like
their
we
cameras.
were with their cameras. You saw people who were probably shopped there, but I don't think the main shoppers were probably out there, probably avoiding the area, knowing it was like the touristy time. So we saw a few high end cars, which Caden got excited about. Anytime we can see something exotic in the
Yeah.
sports car realm, he's on board with that. We couldn't talk Maddie into going to any stores because she was afraid she couldn't afford to look. Even the Jimmy Johnson offer free smells. That was pretty bad.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I was concerned.
It's like,
I was
whoa.
a block or two over. I did not see a free smell sign. I was like,
Oh, high rent district. So,
no kidding. Nothing free in that area.
so yeah, then we made our way to the hotel after that. We stayed actually at the USC hotel, which is right off the USC campus, across the street from the USC campus. We're a little concerned going in because, one, it wasn't that expensive for the USC hotel. And
On the night before game.
On the night before game.
Included parking.
And we paid for parking at the hotel, but that got us parking during the game. So, okay,
And
I'm all in.
You booked this, a week
A week
before the
and-
game,
yeah.
and they had rooms available?
So we had Jen on, our friend from USC grad and USC, Trojan faithful. And her comment was, it's an old Ramada. It's not terrible. It's okay for one night, but remember, we're USC. It's not gonna be a rundown. So, and it was adequate. It wasn't a terrible rundown hotel. It was definitely an older hotel, but it was well maintained. I laughed because I did not what can people consider tall, but the shower was hitting me about the chest.
Yeah.
So I had to squat down to wash my hair.
Yeah.
What little I have. So it was like, okay, which shows its age because, 50 years ago I would have been tall.
True that.
So
Me too.
yeah. So anyway, but I thought the hotel was nice.
Very convenient.
Convenient.
Mm-hmm.
Good amount of Notre Dame fans in the hotel as well as USC fans. Everybody was super cordial, super nice. We went down to the waterfront area and had dinner that night, which was nice. Good a waterfront dinner.
Pier 22, yeah, delicious. That was great.
Yeah, Pier 22 Landing Bar and Grill, something like that.
Yeah, you picked that. It was great.
Yeah. So we were looking for something that was
Something you can't do in Indiana, right?
Something we couldn't do in Indiana, something on the water. Like when we travel, the rule is try not to eat at a restaurant you can eat at home.
Yeah.
Like, try and find a local spot, something unique.
Yeah.
And we want to try and do something on the water. Harder to do in the late November time period in LA. There was a lot of beachfront restaurants with outside seating that were closing at dark, and it's like, well, that doesn't work.
Yeah.
Right.
We're not hungry at 4:30 for this dinner, so yeah.
Yeah, and we found a place that was in a marina a little closer to us, but it was burgers and wings, and no great reviews. So we found a place with a little better reviews, and I think it was a great spot.
Yeah.
We're down by basically Long Island is where we're at, the loading docks and the cruise ship port and that area, and set sail to go whale watching or whatever. So we had a nice dinner that night. Got back to the hotel, got a good night's sleep. Christy and I got up early, and we went and walked the USC campus like before anybody else was even up and about. They were still setting up tailgates, which I thought the USC tailgating scene was really interesting.
Yeah.
So the USC campus, I think it's 45 or 50,000 students.
Yeah.
Somewhere in that range. It's not a huge campus, though.
No.
It's, in fact, I think maybe square footage or square acres, Notre Dame might be bigger, which surprises me. But not as much dorm life, I don't think, at USC. There was a USC Village area, which we didn't go down to, which I don't know what was quite there. But the actual campus didn't seem like it was huge. But the part we were on, just north of the Coliseum, it was a block or two to the Coliseum from there. There was a couple of museums and stuff, which were part of USC, but not part of the main campus. But basically, there's fencing. They can shut off the entire campus, and they do. Yeah. And then you have to basically show an ID coming in from either the north or the south, one of the two main entrances, to get on campus. And you didn't have to have a ticket or anything. Just had to say who you were. So they had record of who was on campus and why.
Yeah.
Or at least who was on campus. So we went down, and Jen had said, hey, you got to go see Heritage Hall. So it's like, okay, we got to go hit Heritage Hall, which was cool. Christy and I had a nice walk that morning. We saw, Traveler the horse statue. We saw Tommy Trojan statue. We saw the fountains. The band kids were out warming up playing.
Yeah, they were all broken up into their individual instruments.
Yeah, they were in different groups.
Yeah, practicing in different areas. So that was kind of cool.
Yeah, and I tried to get the
you did
tuba section to play the Notre Dame fight song, and those kids wouldn't have it.
They were not having it.
But we took a selfie with them, and the best part of the selfie is if you see it on social, is they're all throwing up the fight on symbol like, we'll be in your picture, but we're going to do it begrudgingly. There you go, Carter. So that was kind of fun, but Heritage Hall was really neat. It it was kind of funny in some respect because they basically had a large circle, all the Heisman trophies in the middle, and then like each sport was represented in their last national championship. So it was like very cool idea, but then you come across some sports where they've never won a national championship, so there's just like this
placeholder.
It's like, but it was cool. I imagine, when all the Heisman trophies were out of the room because they'd had them probably somewhere else because of the Caleb Williams coming back and then we're going to retire his jersey and recognize his Heisman Trophy win and everything. So, but I imagine that if you're a recruit for USC, any sport, you're coming to Heritage Hall and they're showing you around and it's part of, and it's got its place. It's kind of like going to the GUG at Notre Dame. Like, okay, you could entice somebody to want to come to school here.
Yeah.
And we hit the bookstore, which it was a bookstore. I mean, it was nothing awesome.
Nothing Notre Dame there.
But yeah, it was strange. But probably the best thing was the ATM cupcake machine at the bookstore. I mean, like, hey, I'm all about the cupcake machine.
Yeah.
And they did have red velvet, so.
Did you get one?
I did not.
Yeah, I was going to say, I've heard those things aren't very good. So
$5.75. And it wasn't the price. It's just, it was cake, and cupcakes aren't as good as cake.
Yeah.
So anyway.
Yeah, I've heard those machines aren't very good. So
interesting concept, though.
Yeah, it was an interesting concept. I mean, it probably depends on how fresh they are. I could see a bougie campus like USC probably selling a few of those. If you're in a lower volume area, it's kind of like going to the buffet. You want to go when it's busy so the cupcakes are fresh constantly. So yeah, we walked the bookstore and then came back and we got you guys and we're waiting on Jen and Eric, her husband, and found out Eric spent the night before in the ER. Fell and fractured his elbow. So they were a little late getting to the tailgate the next day, which unfortunate for them. But we made it over the tailgate ahead of them. We went to the USC Associates tailgate, which is basically Alumni Association tailgate, which was a very cool experience.
Yeah.
And it was a little earlier in the day than I think they normally like to do it. They're not used to these. Basically, it was a 12:30 local time game. They were thinking it was going to be like a 3:30 or a 5 o'clock game. And yeah, it was a noon game. So we had breakfast food at the tailgate.
Tailgate started at 9:30.
Yeah, so there was breakfast sandwiches and ham and I don't remember what all was there from the breakfast side. And then there was like a whole lunch side if you wanted lunch. It was a brunch picnic, I believe is how they referred to it.
Yeah.
So there was fried chicken and pulled pork and different potatoes.
A lot of different options.
Food was solid, man. I'm like for tailgate picnic style, like it was good food. I was impressed. I didn't know what to expect, but yeah, they did it right.
It wasn't your typical tailgate. There was
it was a picnic.
It was a picnic, yes, but tablecloths on the tables and very bougie.
It's what I expect from the Southern Cal.
They were roughing it for a day.
Yeah, they might have been roughing it. But yeah, I mean, they were great people. Everybody we talked to at the tailgate, obviously, we had bright green on sticking out like a sore thumb amongst all the USC fans. And everybody that I talked to was just super nice, super gracious, and a lot of good conversation. I mean, it was a good experience, I think, the tailgate. Probably the coolest part of the tailgate was the USC band comes into the middle of the tailgate. And so the family that Jen got tickets through, like, he's like, "Hi, come, go stand at this tree." So we go stand at this tree in the middle of the tailgate. And literally we were surrounded. We got the sphere experience, I guess.
Yeah.
We were surrounded by the band about 270 degrees.
Yeah.
So the Trojan or the drum major was behind us up on a ladder, and the band was in front of us. We had, I think, tubas to the left, trumpets in front of us, drums to the right, and
piccolos back left.
Piccolos, yeah. I mean,
we were in a prime location.
Yeah.
They've done it before. They knew where they were going.
This
guy
by
the tree.
This guy
okay.
Go by the tree. Okay,
go
perfect.
Yeah.
But you couldn't ask for a better place to stand. If you were a USC fan, like that would be over the top, the best experience you could ever have. I mean, just as a visiting fan, I don't get excited about the Southern California cheer, and I don't, Conquest and like all the band traditions.
Yeah.
I know how like the USC fans come to Notre Dame. They appreciate the Notre Dame songs, but they don't get excited about them.
Yeah.
Probably similar thing, but it was like very cool to be right there, front and center, band in your face. Like, okay, this is cool. And unlike a lot of our travels this year, this had the college football experience. Like I felt like we were on a college campus. We were at a college football game. So yeah, anything else about the campus that sticks out that you guys as I kind of briefed over it, jump out, talk about. I mean, really nice campus, great.
Yeah,
like,
it was very nice. Yeah, yeah. I think you hit a lot of it. I mean,
Yeah.
tailgate was good. I mean,
yeah,
not enough football on TV for me. So trying to watch that Ohio State Michigan game, one TV there, pretty busy.
yeah.
Think about getting two USC. Just a thought.
They could afford it.
They could probably afford a second one.
Yeah.
Just a thought. But I mean, what do I know?
But I mean, that was the USC association. I mean, that's alumni association. Those people there to socialize and catch up. And
I don't know. It sure seemed like a lot of people were interested in that game.
yeah, well, if they had a better record, I bet you there'd been a lot more people interested in it.
Probably.
Because I mean, we talked about it. USC could have easily been top of the Big Ten this year. But they just haven't had that kind of success. So anyway, yeah, I think probably one thing was being at the tailgate got us a little distracted. We planned on leaving the tailgate in time to get over to the kickoff, and we're just sitting there talking. It's like, oh crap, kickoff's in like 20 minutes. We need to go. So we hopped up and walked across, I don't know, a couple blocks to go to the Coliseum, and then we made a right instead of a left because we didn't know which gate we were going in. But best part of that whole thing was on the way to the Coliseum. Who'd we see? Lenny Hoops.
Oh yeah, Lenny was there again.
Yeah. So after and I don't know, he acted like he recognized Caden. So it was kind of funny as we're walking across, and there was a large Notre Dame tailgate going on. I don't know if that was Notre Dame Southern Cal Association or what that we saw, but a lot of vendors selling drinks, beers,
cooking
hot dogs, bacon wrapped hot dogs on skillets, and yeah, like there was that whole path was lined
a whole
with vendors.
Market thing, yeah.
Which was kind of interesting because inside the gated area of the USC campus, it was Disneyland. It was very like pristine and clean and like, well kept, and everything was organized, and all these tailgaters in there. And then you go across there and it's a little more like you're walking through the alley in Tijuana, like vendors trying to sell you stuff, everybody trying to sell you a hot dog. It's like, yeah, I just came from a tailgate. I don't need another hot dog. But clearly they have business because they wouldn't all be set up there trying to sell hot dogs if it wasn't profitable.
Every 20 feet. Like it wasn't.
It was a lot.
Yeah, it was a lot.
So, and what I would expect for Southern Cal, I think Eric made the comment, like no one goes to their seat before the game starts. We're a little more diehard than I guess the average fan. We want to be in our seat when the game starts. Unfortunately, we were not in our seat for the flyover. A couple of helicopters flew over. We weren't even in our seat for the opening kickoff.
Yep.
We had to walk 2/3 of the way around the stadium, and the Coliseum's a big stadium, to say the least. But when we finally got through the gate, which was much quicker and much more fast to process than what we saw in New York City, we did get in and we did get to our seats, and we had weird but good seats, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we were sitting
30 yards behind the field.
30 yards past the end zone, but still on the sideline.
Yeah.
And like the band was sort of in front of us.
Yeah. But USC band, like I don't know if you can tell this on TV. Like there's a giant tailgate, and I don't know if that's I don't know what end zone that is. Is that the southwest?
East.
Southeast end zone?
I think it's the east end zone.
East end zone, okay. Yeah, the east end zone that's like, it's almost like a tailgate. Like there's...
It's a tailgate. It's a sponsored suites.
Yeah, I was going to say the suites, whatever. Like yeah, and so they're all like on the field, like behind the end zone. And then above them, like the band's up above them, like elevated, but like behind them. And then like we're like, if we look straight ahead, we can see behind the band, like I saw band members walking down the stairs and getting drinks.
So yeah, if you were to go out of the field, probably 10 yards to the start from the end of the back into the end zone to the tailgating area started, and it was probably 10 to 15 foot deep. That was probably 20 foot deep.
Yeah.
Almost, maybe 20 yards even.
Yeah.
It was wide. And then there was a tent, which I'm guessing was another 10 yards. And then behind that was this stands with, the band playing in it.
Yeah.
And so if we look straight across from us, we could see the student section, which wasn't very full.
No.
But, again, fall break, a lot of kids probably went home for the holiday, not a lot to stick around for. They don't appreciate the Notre Dame USC rivalry as much as maybe a little older diehard Notre Dame fan or USC fan would.
Yeah.
And the team's not had a great season.
No.
I don't think we ran into anybody that we talked to that day that was just felt like USC was going to win.
Yeah.
I felt like a lot of people felt like USC could cover.
Yeah.
But everybody was saying, oh, you're going to beat us. We just hope to cover. We just hope to cover.
Yeah.
So I'm sure that was probably the student body's perception as well. And again, going to the game, I think, in USC is as much a social event as going to a sporting event. Like, they want to win. They like to win. But it's going out and being amongst the crowd and, as Jen refers to it, the USC family and that whole, camaraderie. And that was pretty evident to me. I mean, they definitely enjoyed being together and, like,
having a time.
Socializing. Yeah. So anyway, let's break down the game.
Last thing we get into that before, like, just when we get to our seats, like, this is going out throughout the entire game. Just people walking up trying to sit in, like, random seats. It was, like, throwing me off. It's like, is anyone sitting there? Like, a couple seats. No. All right. I'm going to sit there. No, you're not. Like, you're not.
Right.
Like, I don't know. Like, it's 5 minutes into this game. Like, someone might come still. Like, no, you're not sitting there. Like,
yeah. Like, I got up in the second quarter to go get water, and I think someone tried to sit in my seat. Like, a single seat on the aisle, and someone tried to go sit in it.
He's like, oh, is someone sitting here? And I'm like, yes, someone's sitting there.
Yeah. I don't know. Was he trying to hit on you?
No. He went to the next seat up behind because the lady behind us, her husband, had also went to get drinks. And he's like, is anyone sitting here?
Yeah.
And so
that was just crazy to me. Like, and we were in a big Notre Dame section, so that was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Like, we didn't talk about that at all. We were in a lot of the parents of football players are to our left. A lot of alumni, a lot of fans, just in our area. It was awesome.
We got our tickets through the alumni or through the Notre Dame ticket office. So we were really, like, in the middle of that section.
Yeah.
Like you said, all the players' parents and families, which were our left, then all the way to our right, like our section and maybe the section over, was also, like, tickets through Notre Dame, and then behind us and in front of us was Notre Dame.
Yeah.
In fact, we met some interesting people. Jacqueline was the lady's name behind us, right?
Yeah.
And so we're just having general chit-chat there at one of the timeouts early in the game. And I don't know how it came up. They're like, oh, we've tried to attend every game this year. Oh, actually, I know what it was. Dottie, president of the Alumni Association.
Dolly.
Or Dolly. Yeah, Dolly. Gosh, I'm terrible with names. She came up, and she was talking to Jacqueline and just kind of had this whole conversation. And she's like, yeah, we've tried to go to every Notre Dame game. We're like, oh, so have we. So that was kind of interesting. They were like, there's not a lot of people that do this. So anyway, we're gonna try and get them on later episode here at the end of the season and get kind of their experience as we go through this. We talked about our plan is to break down the entire travel from the entire season as a recap, and then have them on and let them give their experience as well. So it'll be fun to hear their contrast. And I know they're all in. She's a graduate of Notre Dame. She teaches. She's a lawyer, but she teaches at the law school. I think she said 1 day a week. And she's out of the Indianapolis area, so she's committed. She's driving Indianapolis to South Bend to teach a class. I don't know if it's online, what it is, but so she'll be interesting to have her on and her husband and hear their story and their experiences and what they saw. So we had good conversation with them. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah. The people in front of us were also from South Bend area, so a family, and dad and 3 of his kids. I think the mom ended up sick and came all the way out to California and got sick and couldn't come to the game. But we were just sitting around a good crowd of people.
Yeah, a lot of just diehard Notre Dame people that were enjoying the holiday weekend in Southern Cal.
Yeah. An observation that we made in the stadium, they do allow drinking of alcohol, and there's vendors like walking up and down the steps selling beer or whatever. But we noticed so many people getting up multiple times during the game, back and forth. And a lot of bathroom breaks. So there was just constantly people leaving the aisle to go and then come back. So a lot of movement during the game.
And there were some USC people in our section.
Yeah.
And I think there were some students from USC, and they were trying to, like, sneak into our section. And that was some of the people who were asking if the seats were empty. And again, our seats weren't any better than the student section seats, so I don't know what they were doing, or they just wanted to come over and sit. And I think there were some younger Notre Dame fans, maybe some Notre Dame students who'd come out to the game or were home to LA area for the game, and they had their friends from USC come over or something. But anyway, it was a whole social scene to our right, but it was what it was. It didn't affect the game any. So anything else from the campus experience?
I don't think so.
All right, cool. So Carter, let's break down this game. What do you think? I mean,
what a battle.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think there's any better way to say it. I mean, we knew this was going to be a tight game. Our score predictions were nowhere near. We thought it was going to be more of a lower scoring game. I think the over-under was like 51.5. Notre Dame puts up 49.
Did not see that coming.
I mean, did not. USC scored 35. Like, props to them. Their offense exploited our defense in many, many ways. Like, that was the most points we let up all year. They battled against us. Like, it was a fight. It was a true rivalry game. Like, I would have won it any other way, though. You know what I mean?
No.
Like, I didn't think we were going to come out and win this game by 50. Would I have loved it? Yeah, but that was a great rivalry game. It was awesome. I mean, USC goes for 360 passing yards on us, and like, I think it was 190 on the ground. Like, they put up.
And I don't think we've been up but 300 yards once or twice all season to anybody, like total yards.
Yeah.
To anybody. So for them to get 300 plus yards just passing was like, okay.
Yeah, they found weakness in our defense. They definitely liked what they saw in this game. Like, watching film this week or last couple weeks, it was just. I mean, it was a really great game. I mean, the possession tells you everything you need to know. Notre Dame had 29 minutes and 45 seconds. USC with 30 minutes and 15 seconds. I mean, it was even as it could be.
And despite the fact we won by 14, it didn't feel like we were a 2-score lead. And I didn't anticipate us to win this game by more than 7.
Yeah,
I thought it'd be a lot lower scoring. And I think I even said that when I was talking to Jen on the pregame show, like, I thought it'd be the last 5 minutes before the game was settled. And it lived up to that, which is what I wanted. I wanted a classic, hard-fought, I didn't want a blowout.
Yeah.
I'd have been happy with the Notre Dame blowout. I'd have been very sad with the USC blowout. But I did not want to blow. I wanted to see a good game. And I think it was good for the Irish because we needed a measuring stick game. We needed to see a talented team and give ourselves something to compare ourselves to going into the playoff push.
I mean, that's a Big Ten team that hasn't lost a game all year by more than 7 points.
Yeah.
And we give them their worst loss of the year. I know their record's 6-6.
They could,
but a few balls bounce their way, different points of the season. That's a 10-2 team. That's
easy.
A 7-3.
Oh, they could be undefeated.
Oh yeah,
like they could have been undefeated coming into that.
An 8-4 team. Yeah,
like it easily could have been undefeated coming into that game.
Yeah.
So tons of talent. They got good running back. That young quarterback, he's gonna be trouble for us in the future.
Yeah,
we're gonna have to make sure we lock down on him. The receivers, we knew they had good receivers. They did not disappoint in that respect.
Yeah. Well, the guy's Lemon, I think was his last name, Lemon or something like that, where he had like 120 yards on us. Like, he had a really good game. They were going after Christian Gray all game.
And Gray got a lot of flack from what I understand on the TV side. I saw on social media a lot of people posting. He wasn't playing bad football.
No, like their guys are making plays.
There was one play I think he slipped or tripped on.
Yeah.
But for the most part, they were great catches on the sideline, well-thrown balls. Like, can't defend a whole lot better than what he did. I know he got the one PI where he had the guy's jersey.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a PI. And there was some stuff that could have gone either way. But yeah, it wasn't bad football. I don't think it was terrible football being played by him. I saw a lot of people, which I would have loved to have. I wasn't watching social media during the game. I was too much into the atmosphere of the game. I looked at social media after. And usually, like Notre Dame, the TV timeouts and stuff, I kind of check social. But I didn't do that at this game at all. We were talking to people around us. We're having a good time. But I just saw a lot of people talking, they need to bench Gray, this, and that, and the other. I bet you all those people were really quiet at the end of the game.
Yeah, deleting some posts.
Yeah, who knows what I didn't see, right?
Yeah.
So we got to talk about Jeremiah loving that first touchdown, though.
Yeah. I mean, dude's good at football.
Yeah. He's above average.
Yeah.
And he loves New York, and he loves L.A.
Yeah, he's a big time. Loves the big cities. That's easy to say. I mean, I saw a tweet by Pete Sampson that was basically like, you know how many times he's watched a Notre Dame USC game and USC has that guy on the other sideline? But it's like, no, we got him this time, right? Like, we've got that star-studded running back that can make 3-4 guys miss and hurdle a dude and then pick up 12 yards after. Like, that's just ridiculous. I mean,
his hurdle was 12 foot.
Oh my gosh! He was up so much.
He was almost 5 yards in the air,
and you could just see it coming. Like I was literally like, "Coming, he's gonna." I was like, "Oh man!" Like, because the corner came in and just was like flying low, like already head down, and he's like, "Oh man, he's gonna lift off," and he got up.
Yeah, I don't know if he was up as high as he was at Army in New York, but he was up.
Yeah,
and probably the most impressive part was that like he came down and he delivered a hit on that corner. Maybe it was a safety come over the top.
Yeah,
and like he rocked that guy back. It kind of knocked him off balance a little bit, but he rocked the guy back and knocked him on his butt. It was like, dude, you ran with speed. You showed some agility, and then you showed a little power at the end. I just wish you just scored on that one.
Yeah.
He scored, but it was just like, now he sets the record, I think, for most consecutive games in Notre Dame.
I think in a single season, but I think tied all time now.
Yeah.
Because I think one went over 2 seasons, if I remember correctly. But
Yeah. So,
I
I mean,
off the top of my head.
Yeah. So, Love being Love had a great game. Now, somewhere later in the game, he got injured. I don't know the extent of that. I saw on social a whole list of things, anything from a bruised thigh to an ankle to a knee.
Yeah.
But just looking at him on the sideline, he was on the bike warming up. I saw some pictures of him where he was just had his thigh wrapped. So I think maybe the bruised thigh might be more likely, and keeping that was probably precautionary.
Yeah, it'll be interesting Monday. I'm sure we'll get an injury report from Freeman.
Yeah.
I'm assuming he has all media availability again this week. We got a few weeks. Obviously, we don't find out till next Sunday what the future holds, but yeah, I would assume we'll have media availability Monday as normal.
And Jadarian Price came in and had a career high rushing yards.
Yeah.
So it's a luxury we have, to have the backs that we have a back as good as Jeremiah Love.
Yeah.
And to be able to just have him sit out for precautionary reasons and put in another back and not lose a lot of steam on the run game.
Yeah, and I feel like we saw a lot of Aeneas Williams this week, which was interesting to me.
Very limited.
Yeah. I'm trying to even think back like a place he was in on. I'm just a lot of Price, obviously Love early. But yeah, we averaged 7 yards a carry again this week. It was like not bad.
I think I saw the stat. I think I sent this to you earlier. 7 college football players are averaging more than 7 yards per carry this season.
Yeah.
4 of them are FCS.
Yeah.
And 2 of those guys are Notre Dame players.
Yeah.
Like, how cool is that?
Wow.
And I think Riley Leonard played a solid game, minus 1 pass. Now, did you see his press conference?
Yeah, he definitely knew about that one.
I thought it was pretty funny when the reporter asked me about it, and he's like, yeah, someone told me when I got back to the sideline, they thought the guy could fair catch that one or called fair catch on that. I was like, he knew it was a bad ball.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was a miscommunication or underthrown.
Just
but
didn't see it. Yeah. It almost looked like it slipped out of his hands from our angle, but I haven't gone back and watched the game on TV yet, so I don't know.
Yeah, I haven't either. But yeah, so it was good. Like, we went up 7 in the first quarter. It was 7-0 in the first quarter. USC came back and scored in the second. We scored again. They got a late score.
No, I think we were up 7-0, and then we had a chance to go up 14, and we had that bad fumble. Jaden Thomas, I'm thinking.
Jaden Thomas caught the ball and then had the fumble.
I think he cut back to try to do one too many moves, and it looked like a helmet, something popped that ball because it just went
up
20 yards in the air. I was like, holy cow, that's not a normal fumble. Like, it just got popped out. So, yeah, that was unfortunate. Gave USC good field position there.
Yeah, and so they ended up scoring, and we ended up going to the halftime tied at 14.
Yeah, we drove down, which I think this is the crazy part of the game. We drove down there at the end of the half and scored with 1:50 left.
Yeah.
USC scores with 30 seconds left. They just drove down on us, like passed down, because I was like, man, we're going up 14-7, get the ball at the half. Let's end this thing. Like, go up 2 scores. Like, this game's going to be over here soon. And then USC just would not go away. They just drove down. That was the first time our defense is like, besides like a first drive of the game, our defense got drove down in like 1:20. It was like,
yeah, but when you think about where we're at, playing guys in the secondary that weren't initially starters, down, KVA in the linebacker core, our defensive line, we've got some guys resting, and we had guys playing a lot more minutes. We weren't playing the rotation, and we weren't playing, our projected starters at the beginning of the year. So
yeah, these guys played a lot of minutes though.
Yeah, they played a lot of minutes. I mean, it wasn't a lack of talent, but I just think that maybe there was a little bit of fatigue on that. And I can speak for us. I can speak for myself at least. There's a little bit of fatigue when you go from the East Coast to the West Coast in a week.
Yeah.
And those guys had to do that same travel. So I think that played into it a little bit. So I'm really thankful we've got 3 weeks of rest coming up here.
Yeah.
So I think that, and again, we played a much more talented team in USC than what we'd been seeing the last few weeks. So anyway, yeah. So got to the halftime tied. So yeah, it's like, okay, this is great. And actually, was the Buckner pass in the first half?
Yeah, Buckner's.
We didn't. The fake pass.
Yeah, fake punt.
Fake punt. So I mean, yeah, that was kind of awesome to see. We ran the fake punt. You were in that position where a fake punt would not be a bad call to call.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, this pitch and then this throw goes back, and then like Mitch Evans makes this great catch.
Wide open.
Yeah, and gets yards, and then we're like, oh, and then it's like, wait a minute, was that Buckner?
Yeah.
I think it was Buckner.
I was uploading my phone, trying to go play-by-play. I was like, oh, yeah, it was Buckner. Okay, that was freaking sweet.
And I think I saw on social media he had the longest pass play of the day at 23 yards, and it's like, that can't be right. I think USC had some long.
No, I don't think so.
But it was just, what is he, 2 for 2 this year in passing?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Did he pass earlier or did he just run earlier in the year?
Maybe it was just the run earlier in the year.
But he's 2 for 2 on fourth down conversions.
Yeah, so he's
100%, 100 QBR for Saturday. By the way, I did see that.
Yeah,
best QBR in the game.
Which, if you followed the Buckner story, like he basically was told he wasn't going to be good enough to start. They brought in Hartman. He left Notre Dame to follow Tommy Rees to Alabama. Started one game. Basically got benched for a freshman phenom. Could have done anything after that. Probably could have transferred to a lot of other schools, smaller schools, and been a starter. Decided no, he wanted to come back to Notre Dame. And came back to Notre Dame to play lacrosse, where he was originally recruited to play.
Yeah.
Did a nice job on the lacrosse team. He wasn't a starter, but he was doing well and wanted to help him win a national championship.
Yep. But
he wrote, and I go out and look on social media, go out and look at the letter he wrote. He wrote this great letter about why he wants to be at Notre Dame. And so, if you liked Tyler Buckner before and you thought anything about it when he left, you read this letter and you're like, I'm all in on Tyler Buckner, TB12, or TB26 as we now call him. So it was nice to see him come back because his whole thing is, I just want to help this team win, whatever I can do, running scout team, whatever. So it's nice that the coaches have got trust in him. He's proven himself, and he's got a chance to contribute on a couple of big plays, and he's delivered.
Yep.
And great throw on his part. And it's nice to have a luxury that you got your fifth string quarterback, if that's what he's considered, or wide receiver or whatever he is, that can make those plays and you can use in that role. So it gets us to a 15-15 or 14-14 half. And then we go up and score.
It was pretty much back and forth.
I think it was like 5 straight drives in a row of scoring.
I mean, we punted 2 times, 2 punts this week after no punts last week. I mean, there was very little punt. I don't remember how many USC had, 2 or 3 probably, but it was just like the whole third quarter was back and forth. We score, they score. It was just a close game. Every time I thought, I was like, man, I think we're gonna put them away. Yeah. Here they come. We throw an interception. We do. It was just. We fumbled the ball. You know what I mean? It was just every time I thought Notre Dame was going to take this game and end it, USC just hung around.
Yeah, it was like playing a service academy. I mean, they signed up for 60 minutes. They gave us 60 minutes. They were not about to walk away on us. So
yeah.
We didn't talk about the kicking game.
Don't want to talk about it.
I don't know what's going on there, but I haven't gone back and watched. But
I've literally said we should not kick field goals anymore. Just go for it.
Yeah, I'm going back to the drop kick.
Nope, just go for it.
Drop kick.
Go for it.
Go for it. All right.
Just go for it.
I think there's a high school that does that, and they've won 20 state championships. I don't remember where we're at, but
just go for it.
Just stop kicking.
Yeah.
So anyway,
punt the ball inside the 10. I don't care.
So yeah, third quarter back and forth. We were up 7 or 14, up 7, up 14, up 7, up 14. It felt like, and then we get to the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
And defense shows up and shows out.
Yep. I mean, we're up 7 and USC's driving basically. It's oh man, we watched the Georgia Tech game the night before. It's are we gonna go freaking 7 overtimes here? Or is this what this is gonna come to? I mean, that was a roll of the dice. Georgia could have lost at any point. I was I do not want to go to this with a 6-6 team. One play. I trust our defense, but it's that's just a coin flip at that time. So I was please, let's figure this out.
Well, yeah, that's kind of. They were driving. I thought they're going to score, and then we're going to get a chance to go down and score.
Yeah.
And okay, if we can come down and score, and in my mind, I was thinking Notre Dame was going to come down and score late,
walk it off,
and late and win the game. So even though it wasn't oh my gosh, we're so in control, it felt like we were able to win the game.
Yeah,
and I just felt comfortable. I was never nervous about it. It's okay, they're going to come down and score, but we're going to come back and score on them.
Yeah,
but oh no, Christian Gray had other plans.
Yeah, after. They're going after him earlier in the game. And they try to go at it one more time, and that was I know he's got some criticism because he dropped some interceptions this year. That was one heck of a grab. Stays on his feet, and then just boom,
99 yards later.
Yeah,
and I think one of the things that I thought was interesting is on his run, there were 4 white jerseys when he ran into that end zone. I don't know how close the closest USC jersey was, but it was
a lot closer than the next one.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So he had 20 yards, and I don't know, maybe USC wide receivers gave up. No one tried to track him down, what have you.
Yeah.
But then, so we go up 14.
Yep.
4 something to go, feeling pretty good.
Yep.
Kick back off to USC. Here they come again.
Yep.
They're making. They had a great, again, for third, fourth start for that young quarterback at USC.
Yeah.
He played phenomenal.
Definitely.
He played phenomenal. So they get the drive on, and very fortunate that we got the X factor.
No kid.
So Xavier Watts
100 yards, I believe.
Makes a phenomenal break on a ball, undercuts the receiver.
Chirps him down the sideline.
And, iconic. He's running down the sideline. Looks
on the USC sideline, saying some great game, I'm sure is what he's telling.
Yeah, good game, guys. Good game.
Thanks for coming. Can't wait to see you. Sorry I own you, but Caleb Williams, I think he's probably trying to talk to. Didn't know where he was, but probably want to say some words to him after last year, too.
Yeah. He probably said, good luck, guys. I will be in the NFL next year. Don't have to worry about me.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah.
But there's this Kennedy kid back there, and there's a Schuler kid back there you might want to think about.
So he takes it, and literally no wide receiver, tight end, lineman, quarterback, maybe on our side of the field by the time he scores that one.
Yeah, they had clearly given up. That was a back
nail in the
Like if they tried to catch Christian Gray, they didn't do it. And if they were going to try and catch, I don't even think they tried. But Watts,
there was no one,
which was nice because historically, for a period when USC was rolling in the 2000s, they just had bigger, faster, better athletes, and we had good athletes, but we didn't have team speed like we've got today. And just to see us dominate team speed wise on a USC team was like same thing with Florida State. It's like we aren't outclassed by these guys. Yeah, and say, these guys aren't outclassing us because I've seen USC outclass us on the speed. Like their punter was probably faster than some of our wide receivers in years past, and not happening right now. So anyway, that made for a nice finish to the game.
Yep. They ended up scoring another crap touchdown. As I was joking after the game, we've got to be 28-0 getting scored on in the last under a minute in a game. That means absolutely nothing. But it's just like I hate that. But
so we didn't get backdoor covered.
Nope, we did not get backdoor covered though.
We won by 14, which what we do. We give teams their biggest loss of the season.
Yep.
So that was good. And I don't know what else you could want. I mean, from a Notre Dame fan to go out in Southern Cal, get 70-degree weather, no rain, Irish to have a great game and come out on top.
Yep.
I mean, nice little cherry on top of the Sunday that we've called it regular season.
No kidding.
So, after that, then we got to meet back up with Jen. And I did not know or didn't remember or didn't realize, but there's a plaque of Newt Rockne in the Coliseum.
Yeah. I saw Newt Rockne, Pop Warner. I was trying to think, I think that's like someone. But they had like Notre Dame legend coach, Pop Warner, obviously Stanford. Which was just really super cool.
But those are names that go beyond just their schools and football. I mean, everybody knows of Newt Rockne and Pop Warner. And, the impact those guys had on modern day football is just, beyond anything you can think of. So that was cool. We got to see the Olympic torch be lit. I thought it was lit all the time.
Me too.
Turns out they light it for the fourth quarter. Yep. Kind of a cool tradition.
Yeah, that was a neat tradition.
Yeah. After the game, the band for USC goes down to basically in front of the student section and plays a little concert they call the fifth quarter, which I thought was kind of a neat little traditional thing they have. But even better is the Notre Dame band didn't make it out.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised by that.
Which, I always thought the Notre Dame band made it out to USC, but they didn't. I don't know. Maybe I'm just wrong about that.
Yeah.
But the entire team comes over to the area we're at because we're amongst that Notre Dame contingent. And by this time, I don't know, 80% of the USC fans were gone.
Yeah.
There was a group that was standing over in front of the USC band when they played their song, and when they finished up their concert, Notre Dame team had come over in front of the Notre Dame stand, and I don't know there was very many Notre Dame fans that left at that point. We probably outnumbered USC people in the stadium.
Yep.
So, we got to sing the alma mater with a cappella style.
Yep.
So that was kind of a nice little finish, and the team sung with some heart. Like they weren't going through the motions. They meant it when they sung it. Yeah, it was good. Good victory for the team. And after the NIU loss, to come on this run we've been on, this 10-game win streak.
Yep.
And the way we've done it it's been impressive.
Yeah.
And all I can say is, Pete, do your job. Get that extension for Marcus.
Get to him.
Whatever we got to do.
ASAP.
Lock it up.
Yep.
Because he grew up a lot as a coach. Like, you got to like the guy.
Yeah.
But I think his personality, we saw it coming through at A&M, and, the NIU loss, he's just been more himself and doing it his way, and he's building the right culture. I mean, class kids, class coach, excellence on and off the field. Like, it's what we want. Like, if this is Notre Dame, this is what you want.
Yep.
This is a guy you want your kid to look at and say, I want to play for that guy.
Yep.
He's going to teach me how to do it the right way, both professional, and personally, and lock him up. I want to see Marcus never coach anywhere else again.
Yeah.
I want him to coach for 15, 20 years at Notre Dame and then go work for ESPN.
Yep.
That's what I want him to do, or at least until he doesn't want to coach anymore.
Okay.
So, anyway, any other thoughts to wrap up the game side?
I think that sums up. I mean, fantastic trip out there.
Yeah.
If you're a diehard Irish fan, you get the chance. Like, we've talked about this forever.
Go.
Like, yeah, that's fantastic. I mean, dream game. Like, that's one that we had circled on. Just going out to the Coliseum, seeing Notre Dame USC, historic rival. We got a great game. Like,
yeah, and I was a little worried coming in because I'm like, USC's just not been USC, and I wanted to see a good game, and it was a good game,
definitely.
And then you like, every game they've played's been a good game. They just haven't won them.
Yep.
Yeah, so we set ourselves up nicely because the Ohio State lost.
Yep.
And the AP poll came out today, and where are we setting?
4.
Yep. I mean, we're pretty much locked at this point for a first round home playoff game.
Yep.
And now it's just a question of, are we going to move up? Or are we going to stay where we're at? We're going to be the 5th or the 6th seed.
Yep.
I mean, and depending on how the other teams fall out.
We don't know the preference yet, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just happy we're going to have a home game here in South Bend, and I'm pumped for that. That's all I could ask for coming into this season. I mean, that was our number one goal.
Yeah, the only disappointment I'll have is if we have this home game and cold weather home game and we get a Ohio State or an Indiana or a Penn State, like somebody who the cold game's not going to affect.
Yeah.
It's like, no, I want Texas. I want South Carolina. I want Miami. Like, I want somebody who's going to be
Arizona
like
State,
SMU, somebody who's a warm weather team to have to come to Notre Dame and play in the cold. Like, that's what I really want.
Yeah.
But I
hope it snows. I hope it's cold.
I'm just happy we're in, and I like this team's chances. I mean, we saw, I don't think disrespect, but we saw attitude out of the Irish team the last 6-8 weeks. I mean, even at USC, there's the Riley Mills punch video going around.
Yeah.
And he didn't start it. He wasn't being a thug. No, I wished he wouldn't have punched the guy.
Yeah.
And he's lucky he didn't get thrown out of the game for punching the guy.
Okay.
The referee would have been justified had he done it. Yes, this guy's grabbing on his leg.
Twisting
it. Like, no, it was dirty play by the USC guy.
Yeah.
Probably an overreaction by him, but in the heat of the battle, I get it. But I like that. I like that we're not backing down.
Yeah.
We're going to stand our ground. We're going to, we're not going to be jerks, but we're not going to let you be jerks either.
Yeah.
So I like the fire we're playing with right now, the intensity we're playing with. I like the fact that we got 3 weeks before this first game to get healthy.
Yep.
And I don't think there's a team in the playoffs that isn't beatable. Like, there's nobody I'm like, oh, we do not want to play them.
Yeah.
I probably the 2 teams I was most concerned about would have been Georgia and A&M. And then after Georgia lost, I'm less concerned about them. A&M, I'm like, hard to beat a good team twice. I don't think we got to worry about A&M.
Nope, they're out.
So now it's like, give me a warm weather school. Get them to South Bend. Let's get our shot at them.
Yeah.
All right.
And we got plenty of time to talk about playoffs.
Let's get into it later this week.
I mean, it's going to be awesome. I mean, so much we don't know, so much still to change. I mean, we'll know a lot more after Tuesday, I think. So
yeah, let's see the next CFP rank, and then let's sit back and watch Championship Saturday.
Exactly.
All right. Christy, anything else?
I just want to say we made it. Like, we started this journey at the beginning, and now we made it through the regular season, and I think it was a great season, and excited for the postseason.
Yep. We hope you enjoyed this episode of the Irish 365 podcast.
You can find us wherever you get your podcast.
We are on YouTube, X, Instagram, and Facebook.
Just search for Irish 365 Pod.
And you can always reach us at our email, irish365pod@gmail.com.
Good night.
And God bless.